If you were to vote blue, no matter who crowd, don't get hyped up. Don't get scared. Because Trump 2028, I know. If you think the liberal meltdowns were bad then, here they come now. Because Steve Bannon didn't do anybody any favors whatsoever. Even Fredo seems to be caught off guard. Fredo, say it ain't so. Trump 2028. I think this has to deal with who's going to be the next successor for the MAGA movement, but here we go.
Firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky.
Steve, you got something in the corner of your mouth right there.
We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say, but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence, doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy.
Fredo, that's the dumbest thing you ever said, but okay.
You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
We don't want an imperial presidency, okay? FDR did it. We had one imperial president. It could be debated that if he did follow through with it, Theodore Roosevelt would have been our first imperial president. But Theodore Roosevelt didn't do it, even though I have to say maybe he should have actually ran for his second term. But that's just my opinion. All right, that's just how I feel. But nonetheless, we don't want to have an ongoing president. Here, let me just go ahead and break this down here, okay? As someone who's from a city in which we have perfected modern day feudalism. What do you mean, kid? Well, in Chicago, we had a father and son rule over the city for 40 plus years. Granted, there was a time gap between father and son. You had Old Man Daley and Daley Jr. 40 plus years. You know what that does to society and a culture and a people? It gets them used to monarchy. Just like how aldermen pass their seat to the next family member or friend or associate, those that help out the machine. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk and jokes about, oh no, will Trump destroy the next election? Will he do this? Will he do that? Until he does, this is all speculation. Steve Bannon isn't doing anyone favors because, of course, what is once a joke or something that's said under breath could be entertained.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue, because I don't want people to listen to our interview and say Bannon's cooking up an insurrection. Bannon is cooking up. You know what I mean? I want people to get a straight take on where your head is. What are you suggesting?
Chris, as you know, I've had greater long shots than this. When we supported President Trump after the election, I realize you don't believe the election in 2020 is stolen. We do. We fervently believe that.
Yes, but you're not part of the administration, Stevie boy. All right. And there's maybe a good reason why good old Trump doesn't have you around anymore. All right. But I want to bring in a little bit more of a conversation here about what it means to succeed a potential Trump administration. Yes, I know we still got another 3 years of Donald Trump and all the madness and insanity and fun, good times that are going to come with it. Better times, here's hoping. Will things not fundamentally change? Of course not. They won't change at all. But it does call into the aspect of what comes next, because, you know, what was once a joke, for example, Greenland. I never heard Trump talk about that on the campaign trail or use it at making Canada the 51st state. But as the joke keeps on getting pushed along, I'm not laughing at it anymore. I'm wondering, okay, well, just how much further are you going to keep on pushing it till the Greenland is either a territory or by proxy somewhat associate or a protectorate of the United States? I didn't see that on the campaign trail or promises, but yet here we are. Same thing for Canada being a 51st state, which is never going to happen. If it does, it's going to be a whole other treasure trove of problems. But a third Trump term, it doesn't have to be Donald Trump running, but it does bring up the aspect of there's going to be a point in time, everything has a beginning, middle, and end, who succeeds Trump. And I want to play this video here because I think it does matter a lot. I do mean a lot of who will succeed.
Will President Trump support him for president? That's what's on my mind. I know Trump was asked this by Brett Baer, I think, a couple months ago. And when he was asked, Trump was like, well, there's a lot of great people, They're all working here. And, a lot of, and kind of.
Who are the great people?
I don't know, but my suspicion.
I can't think of any.
Well, I think he's hired a lot of really good people for the administration.
He certainly has. But as his successor, someone who understands what Trump believes, the Trump program, Trumpism.
Yeah.
I think Trump is a transformative leader. Trump is, in a lot of ways, the most important president in the last, well, certainly since Roosevelt.
In our life.
I don't want to call him the most important, but I think he's the most name-recognized president. How's that sound? All right. In regards to his legacy, let's talk about it after his second term. But for name recognition and someone whose name will stand the test of time, Trump is one of those people that will live forever, like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, and all the rest.
Lifetime.
Well, certainly in our lifetime.
Yes.
And I think people want to leave a legacy, all of us, and great men especially do. And the only person in the entire Republican Party, from my position, who's capable of carrying on the Trump legacy and expanding it, making it what it should fully be, is J.D. Vance. I think his loyalty is without question, and his service to Trump has been profound. So, also, All Red brings up this good point from the previous video. Trump sidelined Bannon years ago, and there's reasons why. Steve Bannon is hanging on because without Trump and MAGA, he is nothing, which is absolutely true. Again, absolutely on point. Okay, we got to be calm. We got to be calm here because there's going to be so many people that are going to be having mental illness and breakdowns because of who and what Donald Trump represents. And in turn, I want to play this video from last year in November because this is all speculative, and I've been seeing the headlines. Is Steve Bannon saying Trump will run 2028? He would joke about that. Trump would, but I think pretty much he's going to step down after he's done. Now, if he chooses to run again for a third term, I'll apologize on air. I'll be like, okay, hey, imperial presidency, 2028, we did it. Step aside, FDR. You got a challenger to the throne. But this is how people's emotions get the better of them. This is how people's opinions and thoughts eventually fail them. And this is the purpose of Hard Lens Media, for people to get educated and see past it, because there's a problem on the right and there's a problem on the left, where you have Steve Bannon going all balls in the mouth for Trump. Let's be clear about that. But he's not part of that administration. Who Trump had on his first term, he doesn't have on his second term. If there is, there are only a handful of people. Everybody else, they're gone. And there's a reason why they're gone. All right. Trump used to joke about having Bolton around, but he didn't like the guy. He just used him to be the woogie boogie 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 man. That's it. But the emotional immaturity of people and how corporate media can capitalize on it is how the sick system continues on. And there has to be a talk of what comes next after this presidency, because I am curious. People are still going to be speaking about Donald Trump as soon as he's done with his second term, but who and what the future of the face of the entire political discourse in this country is something that needs to be addressed. Because already we're seeing the Democrat Party die, and the Republican Party, as much as they want to be on cloud nine, having control of the Senate and House and the White House and the Supreme Court, that's fine. But everything does change. All wheels turn. And those wheels will turn for the Republican Party. But there's madness and sickness on both sides. Case in point here, Rachel, tell us how we need to be afraid.
Be mass deportations. It will be millions of people in camps managed by the U.S. military. I expect it will be military raids in civilian areas to try to take on this extreme anti-immigrant agenda, which I think he means every word of. I think that it's the end of American participation in NATO in any meaningful sense. I think it's really, really bad news for Ukraine. I think ultimately it's bad news for Taiwan. I think that it is a big, big leap toward the multipolar world that Vladimir Putin has been dreaming of and preaching for a long time. And I think internally in the United States, they will start arresting their enemies.
They've been doing it for a long time. Political police. That's nothing new, Rachel. If you've been paying attention, yes, the political police have been at the front door for everybody's house for a very long time, and we're being spied in on. And of course, hey, what better way to distract us even further than the underwhelming JFK files? Did we learn anything new? Just a little bit. Is it stuff that's already been regurgitated? Yeah, it has been.
And bringing bogus prosecutions and Justice Department civil lawsuits against everybody who disagrees with them. I think all of that's going to happen.
Oh my God. You're anticipating the end of America as people.
Oh my God. Yeah, anticipating the end of America as people know it. Look at me. Look at me. Direct eye contact. Direct eye contact. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. That already happened. Citizens United, McCutcheon's decision. Money is speech. Corporations are people. Look at me. That already happened. Our politicians are owned. They got APAC Ababa sitters. They got Baba sitters. That's who they have. You have big oil, the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, big pharma, the healthcare insurance industry. You got them all. You got politicians doing insider trading. Rachel. You and your clones need to get together and stop panicking.
Oh my God. You're anticipating the end of America as people know it.
Yes, I know. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And with that, you have the meltdowns. And now look, I have to be honest here with everybody here. You know, I did feast on the liberal tears a lot after Election Day. It was delicious to witness. But this is how Trump, corporate media, this is how they win. When you had them live rent-free in your head. And Steve Bannon just saying that, you know, he's just saying that. Unless he's got a hotline where with Trump, it says, Bannon, guess what? You're not part of my administration. My balls are in your mouth. I don't have you anywhere near the White House. I don't have you anywhere near me. But guess what? I'm only going to tell you this exclusively. And you could sell that to Fredo as well. And even everybody else, all the other little baby birds. You could tell them that I'm going to run again for a third term. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. But we at least can laugh at the meltdowns. And if anything, there's going to be people right now, the day after or over the weekend, talking about what Steve Bannon said. And they're going to be crying.
All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. None of us are stressed about the election, right? We all are gonna just go have the best night's sleep of our lives, aren't we?
Oh. Hold on.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
It's not going to happen. Go, Kamala.
Guys, we literally don't even have to panic. We literally don't have to freak out right now. We don't even have to we don't have to freak out. We don't have to freak out because it's not even real. Because, bitch, recount the vote!
Guys, I just voted, and I chose family. Let's end this reign of terror now. I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you. We're moving on. I'm moving on. We're moving on. I love all of this. Let's do it. Let's do this.
Don't cry. It's okay.
Betrayal? For anybody that is not a cisgendered white Christian.
If you voted for that man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala, and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote, fuck you.
Can you imagine that staring at you? Imagine you're sleeping in bed, you're minding your own business, and then that face is staring at you. I think I'd die of a heart attack.
Fuck you. I don't want to hear about how shitty your life gets under his policies.
But hey, sometimes it can be fun.
Hope your day gets better. Positive energy. Oh. Hope your day gets better.
That's why I wanted to cover this segment, okay? People, yes, Bannon's talking about it, but until I hear Trump say, I'm running again for a third term, everybody get ready to take it up the wazoo, he's not doing it. Now, if he does choose to do so, I'll be like, okay, this is something we got to talk about, and talk about content gold. 2028 can't get here fast enough. This whole idea of this boogeyman of Trump being this absolute tyrant. He is no different than any other sitting president. We've had tyrants before. We've had presidents who put on the fancy neoliberal mask. Did anybody bat an eye when Obama got rid of habeas corpus, led us from 2 wars to 8 wars? Did anyone bat an eye as soon as, Obama had a supermajority and didn't do anything about, I don't know, a woman's right to choose, reproductive rights? Did anybody bat an eye when Obama could have done something with the public option with the Affordable Care Act? I know the Affordable Care Act and this is about Romney Care from a Republican think tank, but no. Trump is no different than Obama, because guess what? The kids were in cages. That happened under Barack Obama. What about Bush leading us to the war in Iraq? War on terror. Under Bush, we had that 2008 recession, and guess what? Obama didn't do anything to hold anybody accountable. You think Biden, as soon as he got in office, did he reverse any of Trump's policies? No, he did not. He made sure nothing would fundamentally change. So this whole idea of a third term, here's something that's going to keep you up at night. It's not Trump that you got to worry about the ongoing, potential term limit. It's about the unending term limit of money in politics. That's the problem. The unending term limit of Wall Street, big banks, corporations controlling all politicians, Democrat or Republican, blue or red, you're getting screwed in the end, because at the end of the day, it's the donors, the owners that have the final say, and they have no term limit. It's not Trump you got to worry about. It's the money that's promoting people like Trump and all the other fantastic Democrat and Republican politicians. Where's the term limit on that?